Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, breaking 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, there's no question that's what these are doing. It's easy to prove it. They jump around the scriptures, they leave putting things out. Elijah Muhammad's core message, they never speak on it. Master of the Covenant, Arabia going, leaving here, separating, never speak on it. Speak all around it. So there's no question that they're guilty of that. I speak the whole scripture. Right? But at least I'm not put lips there and say, okay, I didn't say this part because I didn't think it was pertinent to it. Right? I'm not saying to avoid it. That's what they're doing. There's no question they're doing that. Anybody that pays, that reads or look at this, right? There's no question that's exactly what they're doing. Let's move on, Brown. So it means it says the most severe chastisement is waiting for them. I'm still having technical issues, brothers and sisters, but I'm working them out. So I'm going to get a full version that I promised I would the other day if I can get through it. But see, here's the example. Message of the covenant. Right? Now, it's in Malachi, and they read Malachi, and they tell you that's what justifies Elijah. Malachi. Okay? Read Malachi. I will send you Elijah by name. Let me see. I'm going to get sound here. Sound. They tell you that. That's what they use. When I was there, when the lesson was present, that's what they used to use against the preachers. See? Okay, says Elijah. But then what else it says Elijah will prepare the way for someone else. Or they don't want to talk about the someone else. Or Elijah, eternal leader of the nation of Islam. He's the last one. And it says clearly, behold, I will send a messenger. They say that's Elijah. Right? They call his name. He will prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom you seek shall be sure to come to his temple. So who is the me? That's interesting. You know, I don't want to go there. Well, I'll say this. You ever ask yourself, if anybody studying angel, if you don't know angel key, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Why is the lamb cast as the sun? Why is he cast as the sun? Angel key. You ever ask yourself that question? Anyway, and he's the only one that breaks this. Only one can break those seals. No one, heavens or earth, or under. He shall suddenly come to his temple, even the measure of the covenant. They never talk about that message of the covenant. Elijah, the last one, eternally the nations are. It's right there. In Malachi. Who you should delight in. That's the ones, right? Because he's coming preaching the covenant. He's coming fulfillment of the covenant. See, the Farrakhan says, no, that ain't gonna happen. That's what he said. He said the covenant is not going to happen. Because he said we're not going anywhere. And God said we are. He said we're not. So who are you going to accept? God says, that's his word. We're going to go and tell you exactly where. It's not a mystery. But Arabia, between the great river Euphrates and the great river Egypt, and look on the map, that's Arabia. We ain't going nowhere. It's right there. He'll talk about the part where we were servants and suffer and afflicted, but he said that was because we were punished. We were sinful. And you don't reward people being sinful and punished. So the next verse right there where it says, God says, that's what I'm going to do. After that 400 years, you're going back home. He says, come hither. That means he's talking to Abraham. So hither means, in other words, just a fancy word saying back here. So he was that way. That's where the covenant was made there. So we come back there to Arabia. That's what it says right there. But they don't talk about that. He's the one who's going to purify the Levites. Elijah taught the Levites, but he said he'll purify them. Because he prepared the way for him to do his job. And what was the preparation? To set up the material to work with. It's like, if you're going to build something, somebody's got to furnish the material. So he furnished the Levite material for the message to come, because otherwise he got to go and build the material itself. That's what he says. They come to him. They have to be exist to come to him, right? He takes over. The crowns of thrones are cast down. He takes over. They have to be material. Like Muhammad said, material, but it got corrupt because he had to clean it back up. That's why he said he comes soap and fire. He had to clean it up first, because there's somebody that corrupted, somebody who's robbing the nation. And Exodus tells you, because Joshua's the messenger of the covenant. He's the one to fill the covenant. He's the one to take you back home. But there's somebody between him and Elijah that's corrupting the nation, getting all confused, making a fools and mockery for the enemies. Who is that? Well, that was Aaron. Who's in between? Well, he said Pharaoh's messenger of the covenant. He don't teach it. So there's somebody between the messenger of the covenant, Elijah, that's running, that's in control of the nation. It says in Exodus, right? And that's Aaron, that's Pharaoh, deceiving the nation, having to worship the golden calf and so forth, so on. See? But the people that was with him, they was fake. Because it says they were seeking something else. If you're seeking something, that means you ain't satisfied with what you got. You're not satisfied with what you got. You're seeking something. That means, you might have a car, and you're seeking a better one, but you do with the car you got. You need a car. So the Farrakhan is better than being out with the preacher, being able to hang out in the streets. I even told my children that. They even listen to me at all. But they would be seeking someone else. So the one they was with, they wasn't happy with. You see? As soon as the message manifests, they run to him. That's what says in Mark. But he never talked about this. Those clowns that I just told you. I could never talk about any of this. And not just them, the whole group, all the sycophants. These are some of the major ones. Okay? Then what's the next one? Look at this. See, here it is. It says, and the same day the Lord made a covenant. I mean, he gave his word to Abram. Gave his word, saying, until that sea I will give this land from the river Egypt to the great river Euphrates. That's Arabia. Just look at it on a map. And to make it even clearer, right? Who is the seed? Well, why didn't it come on Ham? Abraham. So that's part is missing. That's the part that's missing. And who they call Ham? That's us. I tell you, the scripture is so powerful. It's the most powerful weapon on the planet right now. But nobody ever saw this before. They call us Ham. Well, I tell you, the one they call Ham, that's Abraham. That's what will be separated from him and will come back after 400 years. See, they'll be in a stranger land that's not ours. The Pharaoh says, land belongs to us. Well, it does, because he's not seed Abraham. He's seed of Adam. And Adam was given the promised land. Eden. And where's Eden? Right here. That's where the tree was, the slave, and everything took place right here. They say he was set on the east coast, eastern part of, right? See, people take that meant to say, oh, Eden was in the east. It doesn't say it. It says the eastern part of Eden. That means wherever he settled it, he'd be placed on the eastern side of Eden. And that's exactly what happened, because Americans in the West, but when they came here, they settled on the east side, on the East Coast. That was all the colonies were on the East Coast. See, people don't pay attention to these things. So I said, this atomic bomb, this is more powerful than atomic bomb. You see, after 40 years. Move on, brothers and sisters. They don't talk about this. Why? He talk about this part up here. He talk about this. When sun was going down, a deep filth fell upon Abram, and lo, a great darkness fell upon him. And he said, hey, Noah's surety. And they have doubt about this. This is God's word. I see you be a stranger land that is not theirs, and a servant, and they shall afflict them 40 years. And they say, sir, I will judge. Now they come out with great substance. For a generation, they shall come hither again, hither, back there. And this is where here is. Hither is. It's clear. And the thing is that, oh, they're going to say, well, that belongs to false Israel. They was in Palestine. Well, you know something? Have you ever went across from New Jersey to New York? Is that a strange country, strange state? It's right across. Just go through the tunnel, go across the bridge. Nothing strange about it. So how in the hell is that they consider Egypt a strange land? If they right there on the border of it. In addition to that, Abraham lived in Egypt for a while. He lived in Egypt for a while. See? They don't talk about these things, see? And this is clear. Clear vision. There's a lot of reasons when I talk about one reason, he's paid not to talk about that one. They try to say he don't get paid. He did. I know they pay him. They was paying Wowzers too, because if you went to Wowzers, so-called masjid, when you go, if anybody's been there, right? I've been. I went to years ago to see what it was like, right? And when you go in there, you know they get on the floor and bow down on the heads, put head on the back, all that kind of stuff, right? And in the back, little small plates, right? And in the back, right? Like it's not big enough. Maybe a family room or something. The one I went to, I don't know about the others. This was in Florida at the time, right? And in the back, sitting on chairs at a table, be Arabs from Arabia, Arab dressed and everything, and they writing down what everybody's doing. Everybody's in there praying, bowing down, all this stuff, listening to this imam. And that was the other thing too, because see, that's one of the reasons why they walked away from left Wallace and walked to Farrakhan, because Wallace didn't pay them. They couldn't get paid to be imam. They wouldn't be imam. They had to have a job every day, because they'd come and be imam on Fridays. And they say, man, we ain't making no money here. Say, well, Farrakhan, because now they get paid to go out there and tell their lies. That's one of the reasons I know. I was there, right? I didn't participate, but I was there. Right? And so they was back there, and they would audit what they was doing to make sure they didn't start teaching this stuff about. And that's why Wild was getting his money, and that's why Farrakhan get his money. They paid him stuff. That's why I don't talk about it. Stop teaching that stuff. Okay, let's move on. And here, and I see should be, it don't take too much to figure this one out. And I see should be a nation, shall all nations of earth be blessed. Now, who was see? You talking about the false Israel, the so-called Jews, right? Have you been blessed by them? Has anybody been blessed? Now, they blessed. They enriched themselves. They enriched themselves. They ain't enriched anybody else. They sure haven't enriched us. They live off of us. They got their stores and everything. They rip off the artists, Hollywood, the actors, and everything else. Everybody, they're getting rich off everybody. Anybody's getting rich off everybody. Only place making everybody as rich as us. Made America rich, Europe rich. Not just by our brother Esau in Africa. When Africa colonized them, we're the richest people on the planet. This person called Cecil Rhodes. Just look up Cecil Rhodes. When he was able to travel over down to South Africa. That's how South Africa got started, by Cecil Rhodes. When they took over South Africa. He went down there. There's people walking around with diamonds and gold like it was like, just a t-shirt or something. It was nothing. He had so much of it. It was just something women just wore. The men had it. And they saw diamonds on the beaches. And that place, they couldn't understand. And gold. And that's why it come in and took it. That's how it took to. And right now, where do you think most of these diamond stuff coming from? They come from these African mines. And they making children go in there work because they don't want the grown-ups to do, because they might steal it. They might swallow it. They check you out. They check out. Some of those places, they make you take a boo-boo. They make sure you ain't swallowed one of those diamonds. And they put it over here, bring it over here in New York, those so-called Orthodox, what you call them, braids and all that kind of stuff, right? They run it. And they put it in big vaults. And the reason why I do that, because they don't want to flood the market, otherwise it'd be so much of it, it'd be cheap. So they don't put so much out of time so they can make it very expensive. But it's yours to begin with. It's your stuff. They sell it back to you. I wouldn't buy one of them. Okay, so that's another one. They don't talk about that either. Don't talk any of this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna play something in a minute, bro, since it's quiet for the storm. Now, what this is about, this is Iran. Now, I told you, war in heaven. Now, one thing I mentioned, it says, war broke out in heaven. That's abomination, desolation. That's what's going on right now. No one's called it. No one's called. It's so clear that's where it is. But they ain't calling it that. Why? Because they expose who false Israel is. And they don't want that. Everybody's on board with false Israel being false Israel. Otherwise, we have to be, and if we are, that's a problem. See, we the ones don't know who we are. They know who we are. And some birds say, we didn't know. I mean, they knew, but we didn't know. I mean, we knew, but they didn't know that. It's backwards. You understand? But the point is that all of this, remember, because look, we take back everything's taken from us. Everything's gone from us. Lower Africa, what you call Africa, is taken from us because they lived on lands we lived in. Egypt, Morocco, Algiers, Tunisia. I believe those are the right ones, right? That's where we were. Ishmael, our half brother, stole us out, and they took our land. And Arabia's our land in Upper Egypt, Upper Africa. Africa is really not the name of the place. That's the name that Adam gave it. Remember, Adam gave all the names, and it tells you Adam gave all these names. That tell you who Adam is right there. It says right in there in Genesis, he gave all these names. China's not the name that the Chinese call it. That's the name Adam gave it. That's the name English gave it. That's another sign right there. The names we have, that's names they gave us. Africa's name it comes from this Roman general called Africanus. All these names they gave them. India, that's not a name they call themselves. That's it right there. That's Adam right there. Because he said he'd be the one to name everything. That's another tell right there. At any rate, in that war, it says, well, that's abomination desolation, right? And then it says Michael's angels went to war with the dragon's angel. So it sounds like they would start first. Because the war ain't over. So in other words, the war that actually takes down the dragon, takes down Gog and Magog, right? Dragon's angels, the one that could take it down. It says they started first. And so that's what I'm going to show you right now. It just came in. Is that Iran is talking totally different now. They're saying they got their hands on the trigger, and they're not going to wait to be attacked again. They say they attack first. So I'm going to play it for you. On top of that, they saying they are taking and pointing their finger at America. They threaten America. They say, America, you don't take and pay us compensation for your bombing our sites, we're going to hold you accountable. And we ain't going to wait for you to attack us this time. Whoa. You listen to it, it's about 5 minutes long, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know about the whole thing. You get the point. They said they're going to take they're going to take out false Israel. See? We see what happened the first time, and the second time is going to be much worse. Everybody even says it. This next time will be much far worse. Because the first time the false Israel begging for ceasefire, they didn't get ceasefire. They got a pause. Now listen to what he's saying. And most of it is written down, so you have to read it. Right, so here we go. So it's about 10 minutes long, I think, something like that.
هم دوستان ما بدونن هم دشمنان ما بدونن، ملت ایران در هیچ میدانی به صورت طرف ضعیف ظاهر نخواهد شد. در این جنگ تحمیلی اخیر کار بزرگی انجام داد. این کار بزرگ از جنس عملیات نبود، از جنس اراده بود، از جنس عزم بود، از جنس اعتماد به نفس بود. اینی که یک ملت، یک کشور، یک نیروی نظامی در یک کشور در خودش این اعتماد به نفس رو ملاحظه کنه که آماده است با قدرت آمریکا و سگ زنجیریش در منطقه رژیم صهیونی سینه به سینه بشه و رو به رو بشه. نفس این اراده، نفس این اعتماد به نفس، این یکی ارزش بسیار بسیار مهم. ملت به اینجا رسیده که مستقیم میسته سینه به سینه این قدرت، از او نمیترسه بلکه او رو میترسانه و اون چی که از دستش هم برمیاد از لحاظ عملیاتی انجام میده که این مسئله دومه، مسئله عملیات. مسئله اول همون روحیه است، همون ایست. اون چی که حالا همه، بنده عرض میکنم همه باید بدونن، هم دوستان ما بدونن، هم دشمنان ما بدونن، هم خود ملت ایران بدونن که میدونن، این است که ملت ایران در هیچ میدانی به صورت طرف ضعیف ظاهر نخواهد شد. چون ما همه ابزارهای لازم رو داریم، هم منطق داریم، هم نیرو داریم. ما هم در میدان دیپلماسی، هم در میدان نظامی انشاءالله به توفیق الهی هر وقت وارد بشیم با دست پر وارد خواهیم شد، به توفیق الهی.
Hey, brothers and sisters, I hope you was able to absorb that. War's not over. It's not even parts over. Again, the apocalypse. Apocalypse. War in heaven initiates it. Apocalypse is a global war. They talk about World War III. They wish it would be limited to World War III. No, this is worse than World War III. Well, it's going to cover the whole globe. It's not going to stop. It's not going to end until we possess our land and our women are elevated to the goddesses that they are. Total control. Won't stop. Total control. Let me say something else, brothers and sisters. You know, it was talking about America's asking for negotiations. Now think about it. Look at it this way. It's maybe oversimplification. This way. Say, for instance, I invite you into my house. I invite you into my house, right? And once I get you in there, I stab you. You ain't see that coming, right? So you're able to get out and recover. Would you take another invite? Unless you come here and stab me, would you take another invite? See, because they tricked Iran. They said, oh, we're going to negotiate. We're going to negotiate what, on Friday or whatever? It was something like that, right? And so they dropped their guard and they attacked them 3 days earlier. See, then that was the plan. Make them think that everything was okay. So they dropped their guard and they came in and wiped out their scientists and killed families and killed children, everything. Just blew them away. So why should you? And Trump was in on it. And he said, well, trust me, would you? Yeah, they're sick people. And the thing is, see, a brain, his brain is designed to calculate. Some more powerful than others, but still calculate. Like you have a calculator, you can have a computer. Both can calculate, but one's more powerful than the other. Do more, greater calculations. The answer still has to be right, but this can handle more. And so their brain is built the same way. But you can corrupt your brain when you take and keep it stored information coming in after a while. You corrupt the calculator because you're trying to force an answer. You say, put 5 plus 3 in, and it come out 8. You know, I don't like that answer. So you keep telling lies and start saying 6. So in other words, you're corrupting, you're forcing it, and so eventually your brain gets corrupted, and that's what they've done. They've done that, and plus on top of that, when you do that right, then you raise your children. When you raise them, you start corrupting because you're doing the same thing to them. Don't read history, or no, we didn't enslave black people, or they did. It was Ham and all this Christian bull and all that kind of stuff. So and remember, you tell them those are facts. And forget about the evidence. They look around and all that. So now it's endemic. And they have us doing the same thing to our children. So in other words, you actually corrupt the calculators, and once it's corrupted, drugs, another thing. If you take, like I tell people, that's dumb taking drugs, because drugs, you destroy your calculator, ability to reason. And that's what you need to figure out how to get off of drugs. So now you can't think correctly to get off of it. See? So they pass on generation to generation. Their brain's so corrupt now, they think they're actually telling the truth. Yeah, 5 plus 3 is equal 8. 5 plus 3 is equal 6. They tell you with straight face. They can get through what they call a lie detector. Because reading lately, they're talking about the CIA. They said they got a big sign when you go to the CIA building that, I guess you only go there if you're part of the CIA. It's lie about everything. And somebody had to lie to the whole thing's about lying and fake. This whole reality is fake. But for them, it's real. It's like, the idea about evil. Evil is relative. To Satan, God is evil because he wants to destroy Satan. Okay? So the thing is that this whole thing is fake, but the people that most successful in it is the ones that identify the fake the best. The one that can lie the best. Because you say, me, all the people that say this and they just lying. To them, they ain't lying. To them, they're not lying. See? So therefore, that's why I said wisdom be of no value, because what they do is not going to come out right because the calculation was wrong. Well, let's go calculate this. Let's calculate 5 times 7. See? They're expecting 57 to come out. See? They said we want 57 to come out, right? Okay. How do we get 57? Well, if I 5 times 7. Well, no, it's gonna come out 35. How come out 35? She came out 5.7. I'm trying to get you to understand what's going on here, bro. So that's why I said the wisdom. Not only that, I'm trying to give you more insight to it. Only that, but other thing, the winter, the season, it really speaks the same thing, because the wisdom of the winter is not the wisdom of spring. So their minds are, because they're lying all the time. You understand? You actually physically distorting your brain. That's why I don't lie. I lie to my enemies. But that gets to another side, because that gets to another aspect, because that's self-preservation. But the point is, it's still is. Well, I'm there below because that's a little complicated. But the point is that's that's making me more dangerous. Because if you're lying and you think it's the truth, that makes you more dangerous. If you know it's a lie, you kind of timid. Yeah, because I might get caught or something. But see, on a lie detector, they can pass a lie detector because they think they're actually telling the truth. Like insane people, they say that sound is reasonable to them, because that's the end result of it. You get so bad, you become insane, because everything you see don't make any sense to anybody, to people that can calculate, but to you it makes a lot of sense. Same people, what they're saying makes a lot of sense to them, because they corrupt their calculator. So you go out there and lie and dissemble and all that stuff and fake. That's why we got to get out of here. That's why I know why I could understand the angel. Because the calculator's all messed up. And in some cases, fatal, so you can't correct it. Like I said, I was growing up a certain way. I refused to lie, refused to compromise myself. Like I said, when I realized that black folks, what happened to us and everything else, I was in the military. I was building a career. I had already set everything up. Right? I was gonna go to college, man. I was paying down on a Porsche. I was gonna come back real hard, boy. I was sitting there, I was come back and go to college, right? I was building all this up. When 17, I said, I was thinking. I was an orphan, I had nobody, just me and my little sister. And I said, okay, make this move. And I put 4 years in, right? And then I find out the history of what they did to us. I said, man, I'm not fighting the wrong people. I'm in the wrong army here. I walked away from it like it was nothing. After 4 years, I didn't hesitate. I didn't hesitate. I didn't change my name. I didn't do anything. I can't look for Elijah. If they'd have caught me, they could put me in jail. I didn't care. Because to me, my mind said, whatever's right, I'm going to do it. But I had no father, no mother, anything. I says, I didn't have anything. My father passed when I was 14, my mother was 9, and I didn't know anything. My sister and I didn't know anything. My father wasn't educated. He didn't get past 3rd grade, I don't think. He couldn't read. My father couldn't read. My mother passed, used to give me my sister to read for him. He was a construction worker. He took care of business. He took care of the family. He worked until he broke his back. The last 5 years my mother passed, he broke his back. He was still trying to do construction work. That was a painful 5 years. He was always up, mad, and everything all the time. So after he teaches anything. What could he teach? He didn't know anything. So when he passed, I says, "Now we didn't know anything, and then nobody cared about us. So-called family didn't give a damn about us." And so my other mother's sister took us, but she took it because the state was giving her money to take care of us. I knew I wasn't gonna last. She never did anything. Did what I wanted to do. I could. I was 14 years old. I could. She didn't care. I'd go out and stay out and do whatever. Nothing. She didn't care. As long as she was getting her money in and drinking all the time. And so when I got 17, I started looking at what was happening. I had dropped out of school. I was teaching myself in libraries and stuff. I said, this guy ain't gonna work. And I knew it. So I went and joined the army. My sister, she was 16. She wouldn't go. She didn't want to go anyway. Got the hell out of there. I knew anyone like 18 that was into that because they cut the money off 18. That's what they did to my sister. She got 18. They threw her out. She had no place to go. Nobody helped her out. 18 years old, young girl. This clown got a hold to her, told her, "Hey, you get money from welfare if you have some babies." So he pumped up with 3 babies. I came over, she got 3 babies. So how you baby? Oh, I get more money from welfare. That clown had somebody that killed him, put his ass in a trash can. It's good for him. And I said, if I'd have been a woman, the same thing happened to me. It broke my heart. Understand, brothers and sisters? So, like I said, I came back. I said, I'm gonna try whatever I think is right. I said, I'm gonna do it on no reservation. I said that was only made my mind. I said, I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna try to figure out what's and do the right thing. I'm not gonna compromise. And I got the hold of the Bible. My mother, she was a hardcore Christian, but she passed. She was a hardcore Baptist. My father wasn't. He was converting to be Islam. I didn't know it. He took me to the temple a couple times. We lived right around the corner. Once we lived actually around the corner from the temple, 25 in Newark. Took me once. I didn't know he was converting. Ma told me, yeah, he was. When she found out, I got me asked, "You doing stuff your father doing?" I said, "Oh, you never told me that." So I don't know how far he got, whether he got sex or what. Like I said, so I picked up the Bible after a while and said, well, let me do it what it says in here. Use that meal guide. And then I got up in Germany and they told me I had to go to the chapel or something on Sundays. What they call those guys in the chaplain or whatever. So where I gotta go? You tell everybody to go. I ain't going there. I didn't consider myself no Christian. And then I dropped the Bible. I said, man, I ain't messing with none of this stuff. And I told myself, what I'm going to do from now on is everything I think I know, I don't know. I said, I'm not going to accept anything that I can't put math. I was always good at mathematics. If I can't prove it mathematically, I'm not going to accept it. Now I'm going to have a nervous breakdown because I didn't realize everything I thought I knew. I didn't know a goddamn thing about anything. Because we walk around thinking we know stuff. We don't know anything. All stuff is fake. And I realized that at 17 that everything was fake. Everything I thought I knew. None of the stuff was real. It was just stuff people told me. And I accepted it. So I rejected that. So I was doing that. I didn't realize I was doing it. Right? So I never let my brain get corrupted, except when I got to Vietnam. Then I did, because I started smoking that marijuana like I was going crazy. It made me feel good. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Right? So that will corrupt. But when I realized what was going on, I went to look for Elijah. I was into that. I wish I had never touched this stuff myself. I'd be a little smarter. Maybe I'm dumb now. Maybe that's what's wrong with me right now. If I think I know something, maybe I don't know a goddamn thing. If I'm crazy and insane, how would I know I'm crazy and insane? Maybe I am. We'll see how things turn out. So far, the world is moving along the way I'm saying. So either I'm insane or the world's insane or something. Number one, brothers and sisters. Other than that, I need to allow my brain. I some calculate. I'm not gonna sit around and accept bullshit. You can tell me anything. You got to prove it. You can just tell me something. I'm gonna accept it. I even told my children. I said, but children nowadays it's something else. Anyway, that's what's happening. So this world's all corrupt. Everybody's think they don't know anything. They go about what their parents tell them is corrupt. And so they say, well, my father told me that. Well, the Quran says, yeah, but your father might have been a fool. Because how can you accept what your father told you? And your father was a slave, and he got what the master told him. So he gives credibility to you now because you say, I got it from dad. Yeah, but where did dad get it from? Where master gave dad a shit sandwich. He don't give it to you. You want to accept it because dad gave it to you? He had no choice. Master gave it to him. That's why he's eating chitlins. Some of us still eating chitlins. Because that's what master gave us to eat. And so now you get your children, because if you didn't do that, your children wouldn't touch that stuff. You don't know any white person in the world, I ain't gonna say white, any Caucasian in the world that eats chitlins. They don't eat it. They don't go anywhere near it. They still sell at Walmart though. Go and show me one Caucasian that eats chitlins. Show me one. Because they know where it is. You should know too if you ever cooked it. One balances this. Okay, this is another subject here. See, people don't understand this angel. First of all, it's a book. It's like the Quran was a book that given that was Prophet Muhammad's book. For him to raise up, resurrect Abraham's Islamic empire. Just like the angel, right? Still Bible's given to you. It's their book. And then they take that book, right? It's like a seed. And they cultivate it. And the fruit is what happens that, it's like Arabia got converted because that was a seed. He was a seed. And he cultivated because it has to be his nature, has to be the book for him. Tell him what to do. Because when scientists write it, right, okay, they give you advice and things in there because remember, they can see the whole picture. You can only see an aspect of the picture. We all see just facets of the picture. So that's part of, that's not tuning in, but it's like in the same character. Because tuning in, you can see everybody's thinking, right? But you still can't see. It takes wisdom to see how everything fits together. Right? So when you get a book, it tells you what's the nature of things, not how people think. Well, it can tell you, well, it can tell you their motivation, stuff like that there, right? But it gives you a scenario of what this season, what you need to do, this recipe, whatever, right? And so you follow that, and you bear the fruit. And the fruit Jesus produced was what they call Christianity, even though they distorted it. And with Prophet Muhammad, what you call Sunnism, what is distortion also, he didn't distort it, they did. And so it says the angel is a seed that will be cultivated by the Lamb that produce this new kingdom that will last forever. Okay? So it tells you, so it gives you advice and things in there that you can't see. Right? It tells you things that you wouldn't know. Without the angel key, I wouldn't know the things I know about the world. I knew about pressure. I figured it out even before I got the angel key. But details and things, like some things, and some of the things from the Quran, but all those things add up some of the stuff in the Quran was also, so all those books and stuff was really meant for Suleiman, the Quran, right? If you understand the 5 pillars, we need something to recite. Well, that's the Quran. That's what they call the Quran, the recital. Why do they call it recital? See? And then seal Bible, unsealed. So it reveals who everybody is. See? And then the lessons gives you the history that you won't get in Angel or you won't get in the, see, all those things. So all those things was there. The Suleiman, so all that's put the whole picture together. So one of the things about this tree, I keep talking about this tree, this tree, this tree. So who are they talking to? They ain't talking to Farrakhan. They ain't telling about a tree. They telling Suleiman about a tree. They don't mention these things, they're not important. They don't mention these things unless they're not important. They don't just say, oh, they're a tree. Well, what tree are they talking about? Who's growing this tree? They trying to fire guys, he don't even know about it because he had to break the seals to find out about all this. So I'm saying, I know people understand this, and a lot of them they probably won't even ever understand it. Anyway, let's go in here and see, because now watch this. I got a bunch of things here. I'm just going to let them sit there. You read them at your leisure. I'm not going to read all. I'm going to point out a couple of them because they talk about it quite a bit. I'm just showing how they talk about it quite a bit. Now watch this one right here. He spake also in a parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard. He came and sought fruit thereon and found none. Listen carefully. Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years, why say 3 years? Come, seeking fruit on this. Behold, these 3 years I come, wait for 3 years, seeking fruit on this fig tree and find nothing. After 3 years. Right. Cut it down. Why cometh it the ground? Why let it keep growing? It's just right. And he answered him, Lord, let alone this year also. So give it another year. Let's give it another year. It's 4 years. 4 years, right? Till I should dig about it and put some dung on it. Fertilize, dung on it, push it or whatever, whatever you want, how you want to call it, dung, right? Put on it, threaten it, because what you do is you're trying to force it to do something. You want to do it, so you're trying to force it. You put dung on it, you put in to force it to bear fruit. So you get another year to try to force it to do it, right? But still don't do it. So they say if it don't after that, 4 years, cut it down. Mm-hmm. So it's telling, son of man, you have a tree. And it's not bearing any fruit. After 3 years, push it, try to force it. If it don't do anything after that, after 4 years, 5th year, just cut it down. Maybe some people know what I'm talking about, some people don't know what I'm talking about. But that's exactly what happens. Cut it down. After all that and nothing. I tell you, this ain't no fucking joke. Oh, he said a word. Okay, bye. Because you ain't ready for about this word to happen here. And they got other things to say. Let me say a couple more things. I'm going to say them all. But I tell you about that. Why do they say a specific time? 3 years, the 4th year, and the 5th year is going down. I tell you, so much energy you don't know. Those ain't even paying attention to it. I tell you, you can't fuck around with this. Then he makes his angels, spirits, and ministers of flaming fire. That means the ones that he actually accept, that's what it'd be like. That's another thing right there. Ministers of flaming fire. That'd be the characteristics of those that are being, right? That do come forward. So they don't come forward what? Until after the tree is cut down. When they come forward what? once he takes over the Nation of Islam. He pulls them out of there. They're going to be fired up. Because, you know, when the messenger's around, right, the FY was fired up. They like with Farrakhan, so it's fired up. And not just saying, all praise, you know, fired up until then he left and then fire went out. But they was fired up. Everybody knew. Spirit. So that's the whole thing. See, I'm not going through all these. It talks about that. So let you read it. See? But the problem is that you got to set example. So if you got dead weight there, then when other people come in, they're going to use them as examples. So all you're going to do is produce more dead weight. When people come in, you'll see, because I came in Nation of Islam money life, everybody's fired up. I mean, I was in the military, but they was more fired up than me. So I had to up my game. Sell 300 papers a week. Fasting and FY classes and meetings every 3 weeks, three days. I had meetings on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and plus I had FY on Saturdays, Saturday mornings. And then I had to go and I had to do searching, I had to do security. And there was no negative, because negative, so Slack Talk, they was out of there. Slack Talk, you was out of there immediately. You was on fire. But Elijah Muhammad was the one pushing everybody. He didn't have to push me. I didn't realize that was the case. Yeah. Everybody's fired up. Everybody wanted to be all the brothers in one. They wanted to, you know, a lot of brothers out there that was out. Had you been in FY, they just couldn't keep up. They wanted to be in, they just couldn't keep up because the brothers fired up. You had to sell 300 papers a week, not $299, 300. You had to buy them up front. So if you didn't sell them, I don't know if I should tell this story or not. They had this one brother. He was a captain. I can't remember what his name was. Chicago, right? He was a paper captain, called paper captain. I can't remember what his name was, Greg, or his brother Greg X or whatever. And what he was doing, I don't want to say it, get it wrong. I'm gonna leave it alone because I can't get it right. Anyway, he was doing something wrong. He ended up being, consequence caught up with him. He was doing some of the papers he wasn't supposed to be doing. He was stealing the money or something like there. He was a paper company. Almost had a name, just came and just went. And his other brother was Lou, came in, and a younger brother came in, and he went over to his brother's house. I'm not saying this right, bro, sister. I should just leave it alone. They ended up killing him. And when they went to his house, they found that he had all this money and stuff. He was stealing and all that kind of stuff, right? You can't F around with consequence. Use the paper companies for he made everybody self-payment and everything else. He was stealing the money or something. He had all day, man. Anyway, let's move on. So the tree is cut down, gone. I'm gonna take the advice because you never know. They don't tell me exactly why they're saying it. I mean, you get some hints. You see a lot of information here because you don't see the whole picture. You don't bother to tell you, just listen to it. Because doing that, it may be something else going on there. It could be agents, it could be all kinds of stuff. Just tell me, cut it down. If it ain't, okay? Because it says, many will say, what's this one? Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, we're not prophesying that name. In other words, they would, yeah, we're with you. Right? And he's going to say to them, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. You depart from me, get away from me. I didn't know you. It's interesting. So who are they talking about? What are they talking about? Let me move on. But I'm hold on. Let me just hold this for a few seconds so you can read them if you want at your leisure. I'm not going to read them all. There's quite a few of them. This talks about it quite a bit in different ways. Now we took analyze all of them totally. There may be some more information that I need to know. But it's cut down. That seems to be clear enough for me. The next one here. This has been John the Baptist. This story about here is about John the Baptist, Elijah, where Son of Man didn't want to. He didn't want to mess with Elijah's father. He didn't want to bother with him. That was Jonah's reaction too. He said, "Man, all they're gonna do is they set a bad example for my people, the angel people. They're gonna set a bad example for them." Because they're going to follow that bad example. That's why if you put old wine and new whatever, so you can be at your leisure. Right there. Now axe is laid unto the root of the tree. Therefore every tree that brings not fruit, good fruit, is cast down, is hewed down and cast in fire. In other words, it don't bring forth fruit, or if it don't bring forth any fruit, or if fruit that it does bring forth is bad, still throw it in the fire. Whose fans in his hand means he come to clean us up. He's not going to settle for any bullshit. It's going to be 100%. His fans in his hand, he would thoroughly purge his floor and gathers wheat into the garden. We burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. That's the demons. You're not going to accept any imperfections. You're 100% or you out. Not 99.9999. That ain't going to work. Keep telling you that. Just purify. He said just cleans. And this is where it's talking about no man sores a piece of new cloth on an old garment. Also, new piece that is filled up takes away from the old. Always, if you think, why you gonna mix the old with the new? You're gonna mess up the new. Right? The same thing right here, right? And no man put new wine to old bottles. Also, else the new wine does burst the bottles, and the wine is spilled, and the bottle will be marred. But new wine must be put in new bottles. So. Yeah. And there's a question because the scriptures go back and forth about the Levites. Sometimes it say like it's a question there. That's why I say they couldn't count. Sometimes it say yeah, help them. Sometimes it don't. And they said burn me up because I said what is it? So it's ambivalent by his Levites. It's not clear by everybody else except Levites. In one place, they repent in Jonah, right? Do they repent or don't they repent? You see, same thing in Belshazzar. The three Meshach, and Abednego. Shit everywhere. Well, will they produce or won't they? Jonah was just very distressed about that. God said, yeah, well, demon out because of it. So it's some reason why they keep him. I guess that's, I really ain't thought about that much, but, right? Because I guess it's a way to say be careful. It sounds like to me. Because it don't say, yeah, go ahead, you get them. You don't say, you storm, cast them out. It's like it says, after 3 years, we'll give them 1 year. But then the other side, well, he comes to a temple. See, it says two things. Levites keep going. It's two paths there. And then it gets it said, don't tell how many is going to survive. It says wash the robes with blood of lamb, but they don't tell you so nobody could count. So it's a question mark on them. Remember, they're not that part of the tribe of Shabazz. So if they don't make it, they're not going to be missed. It was grafted in, adopted. So it's up to them, right? So they get every chance, right, to stay apart. The chief Hajj, because they have the chief Hajj with a Shabazz. They get every chance. So if they don't do it, that's on them. So they can't say, because they went to the Holocaust, and their women was just as strong as our women. They didn't know who was Shabazz, who was Levites. They saved the nation. And we have to keep that in mind. They went through it. So therefore, we give them every opportunity, because remember, all this is for the Levites. It ain't for the Shabazz. All this extra effort is for them. So they can't say they wasn't given a chance. They can't say that. Because all this effort is for them. He said extra every place just for them. So you give them hands up, right? If they don't accept it, that's up to them. This effort is not for the elect, Shabazz, because they go right out of here. They couldn't be deceived. Also, extra effort for them, so they can't, if they don't make it, they can't say. Everybody committed. Elijah, just 40-some years, God came here. And that's coming 30-some years. You can't say he was homeless. No, he sacrificed everything. Well, at that time it meant something. Now, you know what I mean? But it meant something. They had to give all of that to work for these Levites. I ain't poor. I ain't starving. I'm comfortable. That's what I call a sacrificial lamb. So you should know them by their fruits. Every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit, and is hewn down and cast in the fire. Whereby their fruits ye shall know them. So you know them by their actions. How you know them? Not what they say, but their actions. So they're not producing anything, they're not doing anything. That's I don't care. They can talk all they want to. Know them by their fruits, not their actions. I can say you ain't doing anything. That's what I'm going by. Okay, well, I said this already, so I must have did it double. I'm gonna let this go, brothers and sisters. So you can reach at your leisure. A second. Here's what this one I read is part. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch. Remember, trees have many branches to it. So this tree means multiple people. Right? It's withered, and men gather them and cast them in the fire, and they are burnt. Well, if a man abide not in me, then they ain't really with me, right? Okay, they're cast in the fire and burned up. They ain't really with me. See, why is the judge so shit? See, the point is that I study vectors, say mathematics. Because if you dare and somebody's feeding you, they waste your energy. So they part of the resistance. And so what happened to resistance? Say, well, they ain't resistant. Why they not? They bottle up your energy. You give them energy. Is not. What's the difference? It's still resistance because they ain't moving. Anything that When you put energy, something doesn't move, it's resisting. If you take a car, you got to push it. That means resisting. You got to overcome the resistance to get it to move. So they ain't doing it. They're resisting. They same category as somebody resisting. If they ain't doing anything, you give them energy, you're not doing anything. You're putting energy, but nothing happening. That's why it jumps so hard on them, because they're part of the resistance. It says everything in resistance says no man will be able to stand before you, oppose you. It says that the stone was strong to anything that resists. And that's it. And they don't understand it. Well, they don't understand anything. Okay? You don't use your brain, I guess you don't get anything out of it. Everyone that hears these things of mine and doth do them not shall be like unto the foolish man which built house upon the sand. What's it about here? And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine, hear the angel, and doth not do them not, don't do anything about it, shall be like to a foolish man who built his house upon sand. And the rain descended, and the flood came, and winds blew and beat upon the house. It fell, and great was the fall of it. Just blow it away. Because the wind comes, that means war. When the war comes, just blow them away. Okay, now we get to where I left out yesterday. I'm not going into great detail. I'm doing basic detail, brothers and sisters, because I had to go through it quickly because I had issues with our system. So I'm filling the blanks if I can. Now I was talking about credentials. The scriptures give you the credential, you will not fail. Let me say the elect wasn't deceived. The credentials, so you will not err. Credentials are clear. See? So if they err, it's because they're ignorant, stupid demons. I mean, demons, they're not going to accept, or they just resistance or whatever. Whatever it is, if they're not accepting, if you go to push and it doesn't move, right? That means they're part of the resistance. And it says, Son of Man will take and send his angels out and gather all together anything that offends, anything that resists. They have to spell it out for you. If you're offending, that means you're resisting. That's what. If you're offending, that's resistance by definition. You're offensive. You're in a state of resistance. You're not inspiring. Inspiring, you're moving. You turn the gas, it moves. Put on the pedal, it moves. But you got the brakes on, it won't move. So here, it says the person they're looking for is seeking. He broke the 7 seals. Farrakhan never say he broke the 7 seals. Not that I know. Not to my knowledge. No, he hasn't. He never claimed, as far as I know. Muhammad never claimed it. Master Muhammad never claimed either, as far as I know. I'm gonna try to talk about it, but I'm not taking anything away from him, because he was told he gave him the sealed Bible. It was sealed to him. But Master Muhammad told him, use the lessons and keep that, speak on it in relative to the lessons. The devils are devils. Going home. You see what I'm saying? So they should be seeking someone to break the 7 seals. None of these so-called Son of Man, Son of Man, and Ben X, they're not claiming that stuff I know, so they should stay away from them. Definitely Farrakhan. That's one of the badges. That's clear. I mean, because you can't duplicate it. It's not counterfeit. You can't counterfeit that. So that means somebody show up that's the real thing. That's the real deal. Like police officer, he's coming to show a badge. I want to see your badge. Okay, that identifies the person as the real deal. Another one, hair like wool hair, brown skin. So if you got that, plus remember, but they gotta have all these credentials. So if they show up broken seals, okay, Now the person that does it, the description of him, he had wool hair and brown skin. Well, that shows that's Pharaoh. That rules out Farrakhan right there. See, if he said he broke the seals, it couldn't be him. It rules out Master Muhammad. See what I'm saying? So right there, that's two credentials. You have all of them. That's some of them. Farrakhan have neither one so far. Neither. And these are things that they tell you. They tell you. You have to break the 7 seals. These anything you make up. Those are things that tell you who the Lamb is. So I break 7 and tell you, no one heavens or earth shall be saved. So it's only one person, him, period. So it can't be faked. And when you see him, he's got to be this. So if somebody come along and say he did it, well, they got to have this, they got to be this too. So they come along and they look like Farrakhan. Well, something wrong here. Because, yeah, you say you broke the seal, but you don't look like this. And then it tells you about his age. Because it said the star would rise in heaven, rise in the east. Right? So that means he had to be in the west. That's conception. And that's why I call Antichrist, because he's the Christ. And the Antichrist will be the opposite. That's why I call Antichrist. Somebody pretending him is him. The same age. So he'd be 76 years old. As false Israel is. So now the person that had to break the seals had to have hair like wool, brown skin, and had to be 76 years old. As of 2025, it'd be the same age as false Israel. That's three badges right there. So who you know anybody like that? And then he had to be somebody who was with Elijah. Was you Elijah? Ben X? This guy called Son, was you Elijah? He had to be somebody that was with Elijah. He came to Elijah's temple suddenly. See? So it had to be an FOI. Right? And he had to be preaching the covenant because the messenger of the covenant preaching the covenant. You know anybody preaching the covenant? I don't know anybody preaching the covenant. That guy's not preaching it. There's other guys preaching it. We stand here. They preach the first part. They don't preach the covenant about going home. Don't preach it. That's what it says. Minister son to come to the temple. Temple, not so-called mosque, Mosque Mariam. And then the other thing it says, this when it says he'd be Jonah, it said he'd be 3 years locked down on an island somewhere. Taken there by a foreign country. Anybody that's been locked down, was Farrakhan, was you locked down for 3 years anywhere? Ben X? Across on a man? Yeah, so maybe you don't get that one. But the other 3 still had to be there. If you get that one, then you have to have this and all of the 3 too. I says twice. Oh yeah, I guess so. So there's some of them, there's others. So those things, so you would not make a mistake. Farrakhan doesn't meet any of that criteria. Neither any of the other clowns. They can't even match each one of those badges. But that's what tells you clearly what you should look for. What you should be seeking. So you have to be guessing. Okay, hold on for a second, brothers and sisters. Second here. A second. Hey, brothers and sisters, I guess I'll go, yeah, 1 second here. Here, give me a second. Okay, basically speaking, brothers and sisters, everyone started as a sperm, comes from the father. Now, for practical, in general speaking, sperm is a brain cell, right? And all your cells, that the DNA in there, or every cell in your body has exact identical DNA. Problem is what part of that DNA is? It's like your DNA is A through Z, right? So everybody A to Z, but some places only A to Y is turned on. So that might be a foot cell, right? I mean, it's there. It's just that part is turned on. So each cell has different things turned on. That's why they look different. They have all the same material because when they clone something, they can take a cell from any part of the lamb's body, produce another one because it has all the information in there, the DNA, produce the whole lamb. But when it's in the part of the body, and the brain and then it starts duplicating. And it's a geometric thing, so I'm not going to it. It's complicated, you understand, bro. It's a geometry thing. Because the one's in the middle, it's perfect in the middle, so that's the brain cell. The other ones, as they move out, they're not in the middle anymore. So different aspects of the DNA is turned on. The further they get out, the less turned on that gets to the feet. So I'm not good at that. That's too complicated math. Most understand basic math, though. Anyway, the bottom line is each cell has identical DNA. It's just what's turned on and what's not. So what happens is that, like I said, this body, now you don't have to have implants. Now implants is a DNA that similar, but not the same. You don't have the same structure. So that's why you gotta find somebody like a family member, something that's DNA is almost close to being the same. They can find a twin or something that has the same DNA. But usually a family member, right? Like a sister or something like there. Like my sister, she has the same DNA. Well, remember, because you still got that XY stuff, right? But it's close enough that the body would accept it, but still these kind of drugs and stuff because your immune system is going to try to reject it because it looks at it and says, hey, that's not the same thing. Right? So they got drugs that will overcome it if it's similar. If it's not, it's just going to reject it. Right? So the thing is, that's one of the ways you want to have a problem with Levites, right? But it's not that much of a problem because remember, that's why they tell you, see, you got to pay attention to these things, brothers and sisters. That's why they tell you that Jacob and Esau was twin brothers because they got the same DNA. See, you think they just say that stuff. I tell you it's all mathematics, brothers and sisters. That's why he's able to be grafted in. See? But it had to be, right, an implant. Like, you get your kidneys from your mother or father. They have an implant because they're not part of our body because you have two different bodies. You have Jacob and Esau. They have the same DNA, like brothers. So if you got twins, then you can transfer, if you have the heart transplant, you live with transplant, right? You can get transferred from your twin, the body won't reject it because it's the same DNA. Right? But still an issue because you got to get it there, you got to connect all that kind of stuff. There may be some small things because maybe identical DNA, but remember over time, right, your body keeps regenerating because the cells that you had when you was born, you don't have those cells anymore if you're 20, 30 years old. because your body renews itself every 7 years. So it keeps upgrading to keep in sync with the universe. The universe keeps changing, and you got to keep up. So that's why your cells keep dying and reduce themselves, because they have to stay in tune with the new pressures, because everything keeps changing. So they have to keep adapting. Keep adapting more than people, you're out of here. So that's one of the issues. So we were separated, so there's small little differences. And that's one of these overhead problems. Esau trying to graft him onto our body. But it's something different. It can be done without chemicals, all that stuff, because they twin brothers. It's just that because we've been separated so long, it's that small little, right? And so that's why I say, I tell you it's all mathematics, but you don't understand it. You don't understand the basic stuff. So, that's why I say twin brothers. That means they can be grafted in. Otherwise, no one else could. See? You see, I'll leave it there. Too complicated. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is that the sperm, that's the brain cell, and let it start growing and start. So that's what it is. So what it is, sperm, right? Sperm is Suleiman. The egg is the angel. You say it that way, right? So you have to go and only one, because only one egg, one sperm can get in the egg, and then it close out. Nobody else can get in there. Get in there, then you start happening. Start getting that body start growing. Because what happens? It starts using the material in the egg, right? But where's the energy coming from? It's coming outside from the mother. See, that's the other people coming in. They convert the energy, right, into part of the body. Make that body keep growing. Does that make any sense to you, brothers and sisters? The angel is the egg, right? Suleiman is the sperm. So then he starts. Where's he getting energy from? He's getting it from outside, from the mother. She brings it in. That's people coming in. And then it converts that energy into parts of the body. Okay? That's what tribulation's part, because they got to turn that into Hajj. And once that happens, then they come and both of us combine one nation. That's no story. Leave it there. I'm just giving you the basic idea, bro. If you get it or not, I don't know. I tell you it's all mathematics. That's why I say we're twin brothers. If they didn't say twin brothers, then we wouldn't be able to graft them in. The implant would not be successful. Let's look at this. So here's the DNA here. Now explain that DNA, how all the animals, because all the animals actually have our DNA too. But it's not just, see, I said we just turn some of it off. But what happens is, what if you just use parts of it? It's a whole different story. See? Use parts of it. So the animals have parts of it, parts of our DNA. So they can't come back to us again. Right? But brother, and it's the same with devils. They have parts too. They got most of it. Just like gorillas, they got most of it, maybe 9/10 of it. The 10th part, right? The level part of the part, the conscious part, whatever, the head part. So they got the body part and everything else. The devils have 99%. They don't have 100%. Okay? So we couldn't graft them back to us anyway. Hope you understand, bro. So I don't know if it's making sense to you or not. Obsolete. Now see, this is a threat here. This is part of the threat. Talk about capitalism. Capitalism, maximum profit, minimum overhead. So they used us as slaves to get maximum profit, minimum overhead, and pay us nothing. And we made gold and everything for them, food and everything. They fed us shit, beat us and everything else. They gave us nothing. And we minimum overhead, give them just enough to keep them alive. Feed them chitlins, stuff these. You like chitlins, that stuff they would throw away when they had the pig and they cut the pig up. That's the stuff they would throw away. Said, "Why I throw it away? Give them niggas." And so they gave it to us. That's why we put all hot sauce on. That stuff come from trying to cover the taste. Because they didn't feed you in the plates. They fed just like they fed hogs. Even Oprah got somebody they call it Oprah Les or whatever. It's still out there. That I looked about a year ago. It was still out there. So it's still out there. And they tell you. They interviewed old slaves before they died. They said that's how they fed them. No spoon, nothing. Put a trial, you ate just like the pigs and the horses ate. We're gonna forgive them and finger. So what's the end result? It's just stretched out. See? That's why I call us Negro butts. I wasn't just saying that. We was the first robots. Negro butts. I was giving you a hint. See? Because the maximum destination is minimum overhead. No, if you have no overhead, that's best and make profit. And that's what robots are. That's why I tell them they got to get rid of you because they don't need you anymore. Once they got these robots, they can do it. They don't have to argue with them. They have to fight with them. Just keep them moving. Keep fueling them up. Keep them charged. Program them. Don't talk back at nothing. Anything. This is right in front of your face. You don't understand what the consequence of that will be? What's the consequence that would be? They don't need you. They don't need your Popeyes. They don't need you other places. They know it right now. The problem is they can't come and tell you because then you might catch on. They got to get rid of you without you realizing it. Because they don't send you a check. They ain't got no job for you. Like Muhammad said, they wouldn't have jobs for you. They don't send you a check. They don't give you money. No, you got a job nowhere. And they ain't gonna waste time putting your ass in jail. You put everybody in jail and they say I feed you and everything else. You be happy to go to jail, man. God, that's better than being homeless. What are they gonna do with you? And you don't see this coming? Or the politicians won't allow it? Really? It's capitalism that rules this country. And they're getting better and better at it every day. So that's what civil war was about. It wasn't about freeing you. You better go and read it. It was about industrial age. They didn't need you on the farms anymore. So mass will send you to the plants. You call them plants, then they got wives. So maybe you might catch on that one. They would send you in. The white folks say, hey, we can't compete against that. Because the devil said, well, I'll pay you $1 an hour. And I can't work no $1 an hour. Well, then I use this nigga then. Hey, that's what that was about. It's about they could compete with you. And so as soon as Super Bowl was over, they got rid of your ass because they sent somebody to Liberia, put in your concentration camps. You never got 40 acres of mule. And they set guilds, trade unions, and apprenticeships and everything else to keep you out. And they say you wouldn't see it coming. Why? Because you're NFL and all that stuff. This is right in your face. And that's on the tombstone here. Negro bus, rest in peace. Because now they got these. They're doing everything they want them to do. They don't need you anymore. They ain't got to pay them. They ain't got to fight with them. They ain't going to worry about no riding or not anything. They have to feed them. And then look at employee. See, it's all fake. Everything is fake, brothers and sisters. Let's change the names. Like they with shillings. They call this shillings. That's what they call. That's what it is. So they change the name, and now you buy. Oh, it's shillings. Just like they call this democracy. I mean, you ain't no more free you was in Russia when the Soviet Union. But they just change the name, and you go for it. They can't tell you what you really are. That was one of the foolishness of the Soviet Union. If they had went out telling everybody you're free, then they would have been rebelling against it. They don't know you're under our control. Well, nobody wants to be under anybody's control. So America tell you free and you're not. I'm proved to you you're not free. Before we came, it was free. We created creation. We created birds and bees and all that stuff. They told us free, but we're not free. Who's the most free people on the planet? We were the most freest people on the planet. We was home. We weren't employees. We didn't work for anybody. We weren't supervisors. Some of us were in tribes. Some of us live in cities. We live in the major best cities on the planet. They tell you about the ones in the suburbs. They tell you about the tribes. They tell you how women was naked. You ever see these devils walking around here lately? They tell you how women was naked. They walk around in their goddamn panties. In their panties. Especially you go to the gym, they walk around in their panties. And it's so tight, she'd crack up their ass and everything else. They were savages, man. They was walking around naked. They didn't know anything. And look at them. I told you. The way our women act is because of them. I say they're that vector. You understand vectors? They act that way because they're influenced. Because we're not enslaving them. Why they walk around naked? As naked as they can be. And much more, but I'm just leave it there. So watch this, brothers and sisters. Now see, this okay, you're in the fields. You're out there picking cotton, you got a supervisor, you watch, make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Got your shack right there, and you got a mule. The mule will get you back out in the fields, right? So you working, master watching you. That's your raggedy shack. Master's supplying all stuff for you, right? Now, what if master come around and say, hey, nigga, I tell you what, you ain't slave no more. I'll make you an employee. So I'm gonna start paying you. I'll pay you what, $1 a day or something. Right? Okay, so, but then you gotta pay for that house. You gotta pay for that house there. You gotta pay to feed that donkey and maintain that donkey. See what I'm saying? So look around and say, man, I'm making $1 a day. For 8 hours, I make $1. Oh, say I make $1 an hour. And but to keep math simple, right? Say it takes $2 an hour to pay for that damn shack there. I make $1 an hour. I can't pay for it. What do? I could work 16 hours. You get it? I work 16 hours. Said, Master, how you doing the same thing you did before? Yeah, I did. You dusted on. Still, now I got to pay that, but I ain't got enough money to pay for my mule now. To get back and forth. I ain't got enough money to pay for my food. Okay, babe, honey, you got to get out and work too. I got enough money to pay for if I ate 16 hours, I work 16 hours a day, right? So then you got to get out and work 16 hours too. Now we can buy some food and have a horse, have a mule to travel back and forth. See what I'm saying? You get the point? They determine how much that ragged house costs. How much so to keep you. So now you got to work 16. That determines how hard you got to work, and you got to work hard because he's setting to make sure you put a serious 8 hours in or 16 hours in. And you got your wife out there too. If you got a wife at all, or your girl, whatever. Or if you got kids. You get the point? So look at this. Here you are right here. You got a supervisor. You got your car. Your raggedy house up there. You out there working in a factory now. They don't call you slave now. You're an employee. You ain't no slave. You employee free. You work 16 hours a day with supervisor washing your ass to pay for a damn car that you only use it to get back and forth to work, live in that raggedy ass house. Now, what's the fucking difference? What's the difference? You're still a slave. We're still slaves here. Me included. I'm here too. We're all slaves. They've changed the name. Oh, you employee now. Oh, you call, I got accessories in it. You got electricity out, but now you got to pay all that. And now you got your wife out there, she working at Popeyes to help pay for all this stuff. What's the difference? It's just the season change. It ain't winter. It's not autumn now. It's winter. It's just season change. It's still the same thing. Just change the name. You still work for them. If you don't do what they tell you to do, you get fired. They didn't have prisons back then. They just whoop your ass. They whoop your ass in prison here too now. If you don't obey them. What's the difference? We wasn't like that before we came here. We was free as a bird. We didn't have all that crap. We worked together. If you just live in the suburbs called tribes, everybody works together. If you like farming, you out there farming. If you like hunting, you hunting. You doing what you like to do. Everybody's working together. You need child care because all the children, all the women was all the mothers of all the children. That's the way he looked at it. It was all family. But now you deceive. Oh, I got a job. I got a car. I got an apartment. Might even have a house that you're paying for. That's what industrial slaves look like. See? And Farrakhan, people like Farrakhan jobs make you think this is great, American dream. See, we're going to step up. Really? Let's change the name. From shitlins to chitlins. Okay, there you go. Same thing. This time's different. Still a slave. Somebody tell me, man, you should use that word a lot. I'm using a lot more now. Because they don't like it. Because that troubles you, and you ain't. That just keeps you away. You know, it's like when you put insect pellet on. Get insects away. Because if this truth don't move you and bugs you, then you don't need to be here. If this truth, because this truth ain't drawing, that truth's not what's drawing you, and that fuck ain't gonna bother you. If the truth is drawing you. But if you have some other reason, that's gonna bother you. So you stay away. I already spent 4 years wasting my time. So right now, that's part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I ain't wasting any more time. If you ain't here for take care of business, fire it up. You're here for the truth. Fuck bothers you, fuck off. I didn't fix that, so I let it go. I'm gonna talk about this in a minute because I'm trying to show you it's all fake. This whole reality is fake. When they say it deceive the whole world, what deceptions? I mean, fake. Everything is fake. The only truth would be the angel. Elijah had to come in and he had to deal with a fake world. I have to deal with a fake world too. But he had to be fake too. Because he was told he had to he has to deal with the demons and the chaff and the wheat. He had to deal with both of them. So he couldn't separate them. He had to tolerate stuff in order to bring the people together. Not that he was fake. There's nothing fake about Elijah Muhammad. So he's like a father to me. Like, he is a father to me as far as I'm concerned. But that's the job. That's why he said he had the hardest job in the world. They deal with the fake. And he had to be other than themselves to bring people, to get people, draw people in. And that was part of the problem because they never got past the fake. That's why they fell down with Farrakhan, fell in with him when he came along. He's total fake. Just look at this. Okay. I didn't fix that, but let it go. Now, capitalism. I told you, national profit, minimum overhead. The triangle. Fake. Right? So capitalism is that's what enslaved us. Now it's interesting because I did it. Go check out the word capitalism. That concept didn't exist before slavery. That's what they ended up calling the economic system capitalism, and we was the product that was being traded, not money. When you look at that, you'd be surprised what you look at, because Wall Street was the main financial center of the slave market. That's why they call it Wall Street. Line slaves up along the Wall Street. They had a thing about that about back about. I'm not gonna get into that. I forget his name. Gus Savage, I think his name was. When they found out there was a big slave, there was a big slave cemetery right there on Wall Street. Because they were gonna build a building, but they started excavating. They found out there was a big old slave cemetery there. I believe it was Gus Savage. I think his name was out of Chicago. He said, "Hey, you can't build there." All those Jews got mad. I said, "Wait a minute, hold it. We excavated everything. We done bought this property." He said, "No, you can't build this slave graveyard here. We should your monument." He stopped them from doing it. They told him they was gonna get him. He stood his ground. They did get him. And you can go look up. I think his name was Gus Savage. Look, Gus Savage, and you have him. He's talking on the House, Republican House floor. We exposed it because he got mad because the Jews, what they call primaried him. They bought this Negro butt from someplace. The guy with buck teeth and everything else. Nobody ever heard of him. But he said, "Where did you get all this money from? How's he primary me?" So he looked in and found that, hey, it was the Jewish lobby that was paying for this guy. They said they was going to get him. They was paying, giving him money to get him, get him elected. He did get elected. And the Gus Savage got mad. But the problem was he was in on it because he went to the Black Caucus and exposed everything. But hell, and what they was doing, how they was taking money that was designated. I'm going to speak this a little bit. I'm not going to go all the details. But they have a budget. And the Democrats, they claim it for black folks, but they're not. They want three strikes laws and abortion, that kind of stuff, but they claim, right? They had a American budget, right? So they had so much money designated for so-called minority. And so Paul said, "We need more money." And so they said, "We ain't gonna take it from here, we're gonna take it here. We take it from that piece of pie that goes to the so-called minority, black folks." The Black Caucus voted, yeah. So they gave them like $10 billion or $30 billion for black causes. They 15, 20 million they sent to them. And Black Caucus voted for that. And so Gus Savage, he was voting for it too. But when he got mad at them, he got and exposed all that stuff, what was going on, that how they was betraying you and everything else. Because he got mad at them and everybody, he exposed all. So you can go look at it. I think his name was Gus Savage. He was a Democrat out of Chicago, Democrat. He was a Democrat representative out of Chicago, I believe. And so they have that, unless they got rid of it, they show him on the floor of the house, right? He's exposing all this stuff, right? Because you think they're for you, they ain't for you. Okay. Anyway, Capitalism. The name that we were the capital. That's right. In other words, it wasn't gold, it was us. We was the valued product. And they call it capitalism. They didn't use the word before that. Check it out. And that's when capitalism, slavery, maximum profit, minimum overhead, that's slavery by definition. You get work out of them and they don't pay them anything. But it had to justify it. That's Christianity. Because Christianity said was him, was Jesus condemned us to be slaves forever. With no goddamn good. Immoral. So we'd be slaves to white people forever. It's in the Bible. That's what they're saying. That was justification, Christianity. The Pope and all was on board. The Pope sanctioned it, yeah. Told the Catholics, yeah, you go and get them. They're all on board with it. So that's the justification for it. See? But you want to empower all the people. That's democracy to do it. Because see, before that, right, they used the white folks use other white folks as slaves. They call them plebs and serfs and all that kind of stuff, right? But now make it universal. So all of them can have us. So it's democracy. See, if they had a feudal system, whatever, the aristocrats, nobles could have. No, all of them could have it. All of them participate. So now they all become rich off us. That's the system. It's a system for the winter. Energy deprivation. Now we're coming out of that system won't work anymore. It's right now it's falling apart now. See? It's a triangle we're under. You got people talking, I'm like damn democracy and we. I just a system. We justifying genocide. We ain't no goddamn, ain't no we in it. I ain't we in it. I mean, how you? That's them. Unless you're a demon. We sound like pigs. We. Oh, it's going to change in a minute. We're going to come together as an extremely great army. All this, if I go into all the details, brothers, all this was planned out. See, we take everything, the Bible says, to the righteous, all things work out for the best. So we plan this all out. So we know our sisters is going to be humiliating everything else. We promised them that we would restore their dignity. We know that they would, and that we wouldn't be able to help them. We said that we'd help us, not be able to help them. We couldn't have, and we're supposed to submit anyway. That's part of submission. But how do we regain their respect? How do we regain their respect? That's part of tribulation. See? Because they go to tribulation time, pressing in trouble. And you come in a exceedingly great army. You come in an army because you're united as a military force. And so you protect the sisters during a time of unprecedented, the worst trouble ever. There it is. There you respect back. You protect them on the worst trouble ever possible. Then you got that. How can you not be respected? The worst trouble ever possible. That's the worst trouble possible, not just ever possible. It's unprecedented, but it should say, you said just the worst. It's actually the worst trouble possible. So I would take a little further than that. That's what's all planned. Turn the diamonds, and then we got to get sister respect back. They respect us, because we're going to go and put everything on the line for them. Protect them under the time of the worst trouble ever. So then we're going to get rid of anybody. We're going to take revenge on anybody. That's how we get their dignity back. See, when you out there fish bumping, you ain't giving your sister dignity back, because you out there fish bumping, kissing the ass of people that raped them and spit on them and did everything else to them. So you ain't restoring their dignity, because you going along with the people that did this. How you restore their dignity back? By taking revenge on the people that did this to them. Showing these sisters how much you love them because what you doing to people that did this to them. That's how you spook both is where you get your respect back and you restore their dignity. That's part of what tribulation is about. Including Hajj too. You gotta restore their dignity by taking revenge. Oh, we're gonna take revenge, forgive. That means you don't give a damn about them. That means you don't care what happened if it didn't matter. Oh, they raped my mom, that's all. They gave me a few dollars. That means your mom didn't mean a goddamn thing to you. You restore your mama's dignity by taking that clown did it and tear his ass up, come to pieces, feeding the hogs. Then your mother know that, hey, you cared about her. Everybody knows, man, she was worth something. Because look what he did. Look what he do to anybody that mess with her. See, when people see you protect something, that's how you know. The more you protect, that much how much value you give to it. If you don't protect, it means you don't care nothing about it. The more you protect it, the more value you give to it. So we're gonna give ultimate value to our women, because the people that fuck with them, they're gonna pay the ultimate price. That restore their dignity. See how they love their women, how they prize their women. See how valuable their women is to them. See, that's how you restore their dignity. And you get the respect by doing that, and also protecting them so nobody ever mess with them, fuck with them again. You don't get it? I'm trying to make it clear to you, brothers and sisters. This ain't no fucking game. I'm keep using the word because I'm trying to get you to understand. You don't understand. Nobody understand what's about to happen here. What is happening? I've been on my post for 35 years. Actually, more than that. When I walked away from Vietnam in 1969, I've been on the post ever since then. And I ain't playing. And I know you don't understand. You're going to see much worse than that. And that's going to be a trial for the sisters because a lot of them still on the emotional level, and what they're going to see, they're not going to be able to handle. Some not going to be able to handle it. Instruction and stuff they're going to see what's happening to people. You have to get off that emotional plane. Your emotional plane, that's how devils get you. Feel sorry for them. Okay? It's like that the woman and the snake. What that story, woman and the snake in Chicago, whatever. Woman felt sorry for the snake, took the snake home, nursed it, got it back to health, and the snake immediately bit her. What you do that for? What you talking about? That's my nature. You knew I was a day snake, you picked me up. See? Because she knew she was a snake, but she let her emotions overcome her mind. So now she paid the price. Lou Rawls, I think his name was, made that song, made that joke or whatever. Woman and a snake. Same thing right now. Because they out to kill you. They use emotion to drag you in. And some of you going for it. That's a triangle there, brothers and sisters. It's all fake. Everything's all fake, brothers and sisters. It just like this, it destroys all. The most powerful bomb in the universe.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this This is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you. Go ahead. One more time, brother.
Okay, as I was saying, bro, since I was muted, I didn't realize it. First of all, you know, they got FOI, they got devils wearing FOI's uniforms there. Got warning claims from Mexico. They got devils. And this is sick. And what's going to happen to these folks is off the page. I could tell you, but I won't. This I'm threatening somebody. What's going to happen to these folks is off the page. You won't believe it. Right? Consequence. That's not Elijah Muhammad's teachings, no way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm gonna have a stroke if he saw this. If you understand angel, you understand some of this, but that's sick. That's sick. And the punishment says most severe. That means the worst. What can be the worst punishment? What could that possibly be? Remember, that come from the mind of God. So whatever they come up, we can come to a greater mind. I mean, we can be more evil than them if we want to. Remember, we created evil. So I can be more evil than if them want to. In fact, in some ways you might think mathematically, we'd have to be right. Because if we do them as they done to us, we'd have to. The difference between doing evil to somebody and being evil. Because obviously God's going to do evil to them. But he's not evil. You understand that point? It says he's going to do evil to them. Strange things. That means he's strange? No. Because remember, they have the same DNA we have. Devils have the same DNA we have. We have to have more of it. They have a subset. They may have A to Y. We got A to Z, all of it. Just like gorillas, they might have A to R. Right? We got all of it. That means we can act as a gorilla. We can act like anything we want to act like. We can act like it. That don't mean that we are that. We have the capability of being that. God can't lie. Why? He made liars, so how come he can't lie? They always put restrictions. A lot of the enemies. The Quran tells you he leads astray those disbelievers. Well, isn't that he lead them astray? I mean, he's receiving them. If you're gonna lead them astray, see, you got all these bad, crazy ideas. God can do anything he wants to do. Because everything in creation comes from him. You don't act at him. He has discipline to act other than that. Look, I mean, look, if you right now, if you just drop your discipline. Look all the stuff the stuff that you look at a lot of people doing right now, transgender, all that kind of stuff. That ain't their nature, but that's the devil's mess with them. We can be as filthy as we need to be if we want to be. I don't want to be, but we were. Remember, we're the guys, right? What are we doing? We was in Holocaust. We was reduced to animals, eating shit and everything else. We can be anything we want to be, but we don't want to be that. That's make you a god because you control it. I told you that's what makes us different, but we can control the quality of energy. Remember me telling you that? We control the quality of energy. We can't control the energy, we control the quality of it. So we was reduced to animals pretty much during the Holocaust. But we can rise up above it, back up. But devils can't. They can't rise above themselves. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Let me move on.
And whether you like it or not, the new ruler is black. He have hair like lamb's wool, and he has feet like burnished brass.
Well, that limits him, don't it? Limits Master Muhammad too, doesn't it? See what I'm saying? Yeah, see, they fools over here, but that's the level they're on. But he said, make a nation of Islam, will that stop? And I'm not going to let this message be turned upside down and turn to shit. May it never stop. I spent 35 years of my life with this message, and it's going to be right, exact. And people going to recognize it as that and not play around with it, saying anything. Like it's, you're told to be out there and tell everybody the house on fire. You said around to, hey man, you got anything to eat, man? Let me go over to Popeyes and give me a. You probably telling people the lights on fire. You're burning up over there. Promise you don't believe that. Because if you're an injured warrior, you'll be an injured warrior. Not injured warrior. Warrior. And people will see it by your actions. Because they tell by your actions, these are serious. Somebody come and tell you, man, hey bro, your house on fire? Yeah, think about that. House on fire? It may be. So you gotta look around. You gotta say, God, hey man, your house on fire. You got a whole different attitude. And people talking about, oh man, little 2 minutes skit here, little something there, fix up a little distortion here, and saying a little something here and everything. Man, they think people gonna take you serious? You're not gonna fuck up this message. I wonder everybody. I'm on the case every day, 24/7, unless I just totally incapacitated. And I make sure I get it right, and I make sure that I can prove everything I say. I spend hours. Today I spent hours. I go to the gym, I spend 4 5, see what's that, 5 to 9, what's that, 4 hours? 4 hours at the gym. Actually 5 hours, because then I go and do a sauna, right? Mellow out. Take me a little break. I get 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm on the case. So this here took me what? The other day took about 5 hours to put this together. Then today I had made some adjustments stuff, so I had to spend another 2 hours going through it, make sure everything's all right, and adding a few things. It's every day. Wife keep telling me, you're doing too much. Plus, I had my client list. I was doing my clients. Right? Once the war broke out, I stopped doing that. Cause I'm told, right? I'm doing that, doing this, studying. And this for the Levites. Because I'm not going to do half-fast. If they don't move, they don't make it, that's on them. It won't because I didn't give 100%. It won't because I didn't give 100%. Nobody come and say, well, no. It won't because I didn't give 100% because I did. And they come in, milk toast. Well, I came in like, this is serious. This is serious. You got to take care of business here. This is no joke. These other people talking that crap, they don't know the hell they're talking about. And I got to study to make sure it's right. And I keep bringing more information in. I keep studying. Done the same thing over and over again. Some of the stuff I already knew, I just never told you about. Some of the stuff I go in and do some more. And you constantly studying. Add more to it. I told you I haven't got the whole Bible yet. I stopped do this because I said I did that. It'd be another 3 or 4 or 5 years before I even started doing anything with the angel. Maybe longer, I don't know. Anyway, brothers and sisters, consequence. I didn't ask anything for it. And I didn't ask anybody for money, anything. When it's up, you couldn't give it to him if you wanted to. That's 100% commitment. My wife, I'm not letting my wife suffer. She's not suffering because of it. She's well taken care of. She's got a nice car, nice place, and everything else. I take care of my responsibilities too. I give 100% every day. And these things, you think I put these things together? If you think these are easy to do, you put something together like this. All the notes, special effects, everything else, all the research. And make sure it's getting it right. That's another thing too. my short-term memory is going to become very short-term, right? So I realized that because I'm saying, I thought about it. I said, I'm trying to close up too much information. All the information, I got to hold all the information in my head about the angel, Quran, Elijah Muhammad taught, 76 years of all this stuff, and then plus more information. And I got to keep up with all that. So other stuff I'm forgetting. I ain't forgetting any of this stuff. But other stuff I'm forgetting, like, and because you got so much memory cells. But those of us that are paying attention, we'll be home next year. Back in Arabia next year. Like I said, Farrakhan and them, right? America will be thrown out before October. Now, whether it's next week or next month, before October. And when he goes out, Farrakhan goes out too. So that time, the days are numbered. Sooner the better. What you gonna do? Remember, Farrakhan told you to be quiet. All this hell breaking loose. They ain't talking about it. Why is that? Everybody, the world's talking about it, but Farrakhan's quiet. This time, he says, I'm pressing in trouble with him. Why come he's quiet? Because he don't know a goddamn thing. Pray, that's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. How's that working? 40-some years, giving him money, he's rich, multimillionaire, he ain't produced a damn thing. Because I said he wants to stay here. Because, remember, the promised land for Adam is America. This is Eden. Promised land for us, so that's why he's saying we stay here, because he's one of them. His father's the devil. This is their promised land. And we the fruit, the tree, the fruit that feeds them. I said, Simeon, that's why he want to keep us here. He want to stay and keep us here. He's got rich off of us. He got rich off Nation Islam. He ain't produced a goddamn thing. You don't get it? That's why he don't want to go anywhere. His legion said, don't make me leave the country. Why? Because this is his promised land here. He's not seed Abraham. He's not seed Abraham. He says, father of the devil. He's not seed Abraham. Seed of Adam. This is his promised land here. That's why he said what he's saying. And there it is right there. Look at it. Look at the map. Euphrates River's on this side here. Oops. If I had this, I thought I fixed that. 1 second. Well, maybe it's still here. Yeah, let me fix it. Then I'm gonna close out. Why I fixed that? Oh, I know why. I know why. There you go. But look at the map. Euphrates on this side and the river Egypt on this side. That's Arabia. That's what clearly it says it. But Farrakhan don't speak because America is his promised land. Eden. This is Eden here. This is where we be. That's where the tree is. We the tree. Adam and Eve. This is Eden here. That's why he's saying that. Because it says right there, it says clearly between Euphrates River and the river of Egypt, which is Arabia. So how come he not speaking that? That's the covenant. So he's not the messenger of covenant. That's the covenant that you've earned. Now, if you want to piss on your inheritance, that's up to you. That's what Esau did. He pissed on his inheritance for a bowl of soup. Now, if you want to take reparations for this and everything, then go ahead. Go for it. This is what you got going. You'll be home next year. That's if you want it. It's up to you. Nobody's going to make you take it. I'm going to leave it there, brown sisters. Assalamu alaikum.